If your brain is always going a mile a minute and you feel like keeping track of your tasks and your ideas and all the things that you need to do is like herding cats, I've got you. Like a lot of us in this industry, I have ADHD, and I wanted to share with you 3 hacks that I use to kind of help work with my busy brain and make sure that things don't fall through the cracks. I'm Rebecca, aka the Mortgage Mentor, and I like creating order out of chaos. I kind of do that for my clients on the loan side, and then also I do that on the business side to keep everything running. So if that sounds like you, or if that sounds like it's something that could help, hit subscribe and we'll get into it. My first tip is that basically iPhone reminders can be your best friend. So essentially, if it's not on my calendar or in my reminders, it doesn't exist. What I've done for about the last year or so is when I have something that I need to remember, I just say, hey Siri, remind me to put my laundry out on the front porch, or remind me to go ahead and post that video, or remind me to call so-and-so back. But basically, whenever I have a thought that just kind of passes through my brain, I use iPhone reminders to remind me. It kind of surprises me that a lot of people don't use this, because I've shared it with friends and they're like, what do you mean iPhone reminders? So if you don't already have it downloaded on your phone and you're not already using it, you're going to want to go to the App Store and go ahead and download the native iPhone reminders. And you'll want to make sure that Siri is turned on, because listen, we all know that like the best ideas come when we're in the shower or running or on the other side of the room or about to fall asleep or whatever. And because again, those busy brains are always coming up with new things that we want to keep track of, you want to be able to quickly download it somewhere so you're not trying to remember everything. Now, how I will also use it is to remind me specifically at a certain time, or maybe when I'm leaving the house or when I'm coming back home, because it just helps to make sure that I don't have this huge to-do list that feels frankly insurmountable, but I have little bite-sized tasks to do. So for example, if I always want to remember to call my clients and give them their weekly updates on Friday, then that's going to be an update that will prompt me on Friday. You can set it recurring just like you can on a calendar. So if it's something that you want to make sure that you're doing every week or every month, then it's a reminder that can pop up at the right time, on the right day, and even at the right location, so you're prompted when you're more likely to do it. And also, you're going to have, everything is going to basically go to a default list, but you can create additional lists and keep track of different things for different purposes. So for example, if you have video ideas or marketing ideas, if you have work tasks that you need to do every week or every month, if you have books that you want to read or articles you want to come back, or you have shared tasks even with somebody else, you can have those different reminders for different lists. Or when you say, hey Siri, it's going to go on that default list, and you can easily move it to a different one. So again, you've got different places for different ideas, because it makes it a lot easier to work on a group of things or a group of tasks when they're similar versus jumping around. Now, the second thing that really helps me get a lot done with a limited amount of time is building my task list or building my to-do list around my calendar. So what I will do is I will look at everything that I have going on or everything that I have on my list. Typically, I do it on Sunday night. Sometimes it's Monday morning, depending on how long the weekend was. But what I will do is I will look at everything that I have to do, and then I will go in and I will assign those to different days of the week based off of when I'm going to actually have the availability to work on them. So if, for example, I have, something that I know I really need to have a large chunk of time to really get locked in, and I need more than say like just an hour or here or there, then I'm going to make sure that I'm scheduling that to remind me to do it at the time when I'm going to actually have that block on my calendar. So with this method, by looking at my entire list and then kind of spreading it out over the week based off of what I realistically have time to accomplish and breaking it down into those baby steps, what it does is it helps me have that satisfaction for the day to know that I'm done. Right? Because if, let's say that today is Wednesday, I'm working on what I said that I was going to work on today. I'm not worrying necessarily about what I need to work on tomorrow or Friday or this weekend or even next week, because I will get to that when I have time for it, when I've blocked out that time on my calendar, versus feeling like I'm constantly striking things off and then more is getting added to it. So it does just help from that standpoint of kind of how to manage your energy and how to manage your time, which really, it allows you to get a lot more done because you're not constantly overworking or kind of in that cycle of really just hustle harder until you burn out and then you crash and then you've kind of got to start all over again. So it's a good way to sort of pace yourself and get everything done. The last thing that I will do is, the principle of kind of out of sight, out of mind. So it's like, yeah, it's great to go ahead and make this list, but if I never look at it or it's not right in front of my face, I'm going to forget about it and then it never helped me and I still feel scattered. So the final piece of this that is really helpful is, one, to make sure that your notifications are on for reminders. So when you have something that pops up at a certain time, it's going to pop up on your lock screen and you're going to have to look at it. You're going to know that it's there, and it's just that little bit of prompting. So again, you're not trying to keep track of everything. The other thing that I do, so it's live and in charge in front of me all of the time, is I will use widgets on my phone to have what I need to work on today. And so it's great because it literally just has the 2 to 5 things that I'm planning on doing that day or that I need to do that day to really move the needle, versus even looking at the entire list and again being overwhelmed. So my suggestion is, one of the best hacks I think for our busy life and our busy brain is using iPhone reminders in this way, making sure that you're kind of getting everything as a brain dump out of your mind when you're thinking about it and just offload it somewhere, right? So we don't have to constantly keep trying to think of the idea that we wanted to, to hold on to. The second thing is then assigning yourself those tasks, or assigning yourself, whatever you need to be reminded of at the right time, on the right day, and even in the right location if you want, because then that way you're getting bite-sized prompts of what you need to do. And then lastly, make sure that whatever you're doing with this list is really visible. So make sure that the notifications are popping up on your lock screen, making sure that you're using a widget. You can print out the list even for the week so you have it there in front of you and you can mark them off. That's always very satisfying. But whatever works for you, those 3 things will help you make sure that you're kind of wrangling all of your ideas, all of your tasks, and you don't feel like you're staring at this huge to-do list that is frankly going to be overwhelming for anybody, but also that you don't constantly feel like things are slipping through the cracks. So I hope that you find this helpful. If this is something that you're using, let me know in the comments. If it's never occurred to you to use it this way, let me know that too. And be sure to subscribe for more tips on how to be a great loan officer from the Mortgage Mentor.